Good morning, everyone. My name's Lisa. Welcome to Facebook Live. Sorry we're 5 minutes late. We just get everybody a chance to sit down. I'm standing on a table so that I can show you Jared, our representative from Grace Quilt Frames. The staff was here at 9 a.m. We got everything set up. We've all taken a bit of a test drive. I'm really happy. I'm excited. I'm sold. Sorry. So I'm going to turn the camera around, and then we're going to let Jared give you the information on what he has, how it works, and then you'll see how it works, and we're going to let some of our guests who are here today do a test drive. So let me turn the camera. There we go. Okay, Jared, just give me a second to go ahead. You're good.
All right. Hello. My name is Jared. I work with the Grace Company Canada. We've been importing the Grace quilting frames for 25 years. We've been interacting with Lori for a bunch of that time, and we're very happy to be here at Lori's Country Cottage. I've been doing this, working with quilting machines and frames for about 8 years, and the Cutie frame came out mid-pandemic. So people didn't get to see it very much, and so I'm happy to be able to show it to you guys. Now you guys already seem to know a bunch about it, but this is the whole frame. It is a tabletop quilting frame. So instead of buying a big long quilting frame that takes up a whole studio, it just sits on a tabletop, and you use your own sewing machine and convert your machine into kind of a mini long arm. Excited?
Yes. What's the width of?
This is only 4 feet wide.
No, I meant this one.
This one?
Yeah.
32. This wide. Yeah, probably 30, 32, something like that. Yeah. It's really nice on a like a 4-foot picnic table.
Right.
That's usually what I have it on, like a quilt shelf. So it does just sit on the table. Right? It's not bolted down or anything. It's also a hoop style frame. So our fabric isn't bolted. Strong magnets. Our fabric isn't attached really to the frame. It's just held on with some clips. If our fabric is wider than our frame, it would hang over the edge, and we clip it on the side as well. That takes a little time to start thinking, okay, well, it's just a hoop. You can hoop your fabric however you like, wherever you like, in whatever orientation you'd like, and quilt.
No.
Yeah. So if I had a beautiful quilt, and I'm like, oh, I really wish I did a little more work right here, there's nothing stopping me taking a finished quilt that's already been bound, sticking it on my hoop, clipping it on, and then adding more quilting, because it just needed a little extra something. So that is our hoop. The Q zone, sorry, the, don't worry, I'm here. So, the frame has handles that come out from underneath, and that's how you move your machine around. It has 2 carriages, so you can move your machine side to side and forward and backward. It's a little easier if I take my fabulous, never miss a stitch, ultra light sewing machine and set that to the side.
Never runs out of thread.
Never. It's a little difficult to thread though. So if I pick these up, these are the 2 carriages. Don't mind that piece. So this is where your sewing machine will sit. And I've got some cables here, but they don't matter. So this is the top carriage. It's got some cute little wheels that let it roll forward and backward on these tracks. This has cute little wheels that roll back and forth on the tracks on the frame. So the lower carriage rolls side to side really nicely, and the upper carriage rolls forward and backward. And really, as long as your sewing machine will fit on the platform, this platform, and it can lower short speed dogs, can do a straight stitch, and you can attach a free motion foot. That was the other thing. Then it'll fit on the Cutie tabletop quilting frame. That's all it all needs to do. So almost every sewing machine. Here. It comes with all of these plastic clips. I'm going to pass these around so you can have a look at them. They are plastic, but don't let that turn you off. They are super sturdy. What I like is that they're made out of polycarbide, which is the same thing safety glasses are made out of. Do any of you have a fear of loud noises? No? So they're really sturdy. I can bang it, I can step on it, and it doesn't break. So you don't have to worry about them stretching out over time. They are supposed to last the lifetime of the frame.
Drying out, you know how sometimes.
Nope.
No, we won't do that.
No. Alright. Pass the clips around, I'm going to find them all. Thank you. Do you guys have any questions so far?
How small, something that you're quilting, how small can it be?
As long as your backing fabric is big enough to reach between the bars
Right.
and get clipped in,
Okay.
nothing stopping you from doing a coaster or earrings.
Yeah, well. I'm just worried we should do that.
Well,
It's okay.
you did ask how small.
I know, I do.
For how big, the
Yeah.
limiting factor is just the sewing machine.
Right.
The frame can handle a king quilt,
Oh.
bigger than a king quilt, because all you do is get all the extra fabric hangs off the side,
Right.
gets clipped on.
You
In all the
don't want
different
to roll me for that.
Yes, and you'll have some hanging off, you'll have a roll that sits here, just like this one, and then off you go, no problem.
Oh, I have one more question.
Sure.
The handles, because I
Yep.
saw in one thing, they were upright like this. Can you change those to be like this? Instead of this?
So I have,
Or do you do that later on?
so if I unscrew this,
Ah, okay.
then they can become flexible,
Oh, yeah.
and you can
Yeah.
flex them in whatever way
Excellent.
you prefer.
Okay. Well,
Usually just easiest for the demo, so we
Yeah.
just side to side. They also actually go down all the way off, and you can move them around to the back. And you can install them on the back.
is that for pentagrams?
Yes. So you put them on the back to be able to do paper pantographs.
Yeah,
And you get a laser accessory
right.
to do that. The laser accessory, Yeah, I got bolts on right here.
Okay. Bonus, okay.
Yeah. I think it's the same one.
Wants to run away.
Yeah.
So when Jared arrived today, none of this was set up. He set up this frame today, he built it, and then we asked him to put the stitch regulator on. That's why all those cords are on there, because I wanted to see how the stitch regulator
I'm gonna show
worked.
the stitch regulator in a minute.
You betcha.
It doesn't really take that long to assemble. Sometimes you buy something and it's more of a task to assemble it than it is to ever use it. This isn't like that. It comes with really clear instructions on how to put it together. I am so smart. That's so much better.
Now he's gonna put it back on.
Yeah.
Eventually.
What else do we want to show them?
Let's put the machine on. Yep.
Sweet.
Show him how hard that is, Jared.
Well, before I do that,
Okay.
let me show you one more thing. I want to really emphasize that this is a tabletop frame. It's not a build it and leave it set up. It's a lightweight frame that you can hide in a closet or under a bed.
Are you kidding? That's where all the fabric is.
You're not supposed to confess in front of everyone.
And your husband's here too.
I'm not telling them anything they don't know. Get another bed.
So you don't have to leave it set up all the time. I like the idea of piecing together your whole quilt, taking your machine off of your sewing table, putting your quilting tabletop frame on, and then putting the same machine you pieced your quilt with onto the frame, quilt out, finish your quilt, and then reset your studio to piece your next project. No need for 2 machines, although I won't blame you if you've got multiples.
I'm not telling.
The ones that are set up, that's the height.
It is height adjustable without any tools.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
So that's as narrow as it gets. These little locks will hold it in place so it doesn't rise without us asking it to.
2,500 hiding spots.
Kathy, what's wrong with the feed?
But it's okay now. I'm short because I'm short. If I'm sitting.
So you'll want to make it, you'll want to set it to the height of the machine. And I know that our machine is taller. Again, you don't need any tools to take it apart. Let me take this fabric off so you can see what I'm doing. There's our quilt. We'll be back for you later. That's all it takes. These hold this rail in place. You don't need any tools. You just push them to the side, and then they pivot off and onto the end. Same thing on this side. No tools. Alright. I'll move the carriages back again. Here they are. Make sure the front wheels get on and the back wheels get on. Excellent. Move these out to the side and unlock them. Now we put our little machine on. There we go. We in general want to center it. And we press the clips in and we lock them in place. And as we close the locks, it clamps down onto your machine. Make sure the machine doesn't wiggle or jiggle. There you go.
Jared, for our Facebook people, can you just speak a little louder?
A little louder.
Just a little louder,
I can try.
like me. Thanks, Jared.
So, do you want me to go over the clips again?
No, you're fine.
Okay. So, now this goes through the opening of the machine. Same way we reverse what we did here, so now we tilt them up, push it in, it should click in place. There you go. And now we're all set up. Now if we want to, make sure I find all the cables. There we go. We'll want to plug this machine in and turn it on. And we'll get our handy dandy presser foot, or foot control rather. Plug that in too. We'll go back to our fabric, same one we had before. You can see the ladies had a great time quilting this morning. Don't worry, it always does that.
Yep, yes, we know.
And again, we just lay this on however we want. We can hoop it in any way. Generally, a lot of people will hoop it to the area they want to quilt. I'm going to say that we've already finished this area up here, and then we put our clips on. 1, 2, 3. This part should then be rolled. So it's out of the way. We don't want to accidentally sew over it again. And there's these handy elastics. They are adjustable. So you can adjust them to the size of the roll. And they have a little plastic clip plastic lip is to occupy the tail, because you don't want to sew over that either.
Good point.
Perfect. Now we've got front clips. We'll just want to make sure that while we're putting it together that we're making sure everything is straight and that our bungees aren't in the way. The clips have a channel on them with a little claw on it. We want to make sure that is oriented so that these clips can come latch onto it. There we go.
Fishy.
Put that one on. Put that one on. Put that one on, I said. There we go. If we need more tension on the fabric, we can actually just turn this and it'll add some tension. But we don't need to make it really tight. Your quilt is going to be put on a bed, most likely. It's not going to be put in a frame and stretched out like a canvas. And this part here just gets rolled up as well. And then I'll have to fold that in place too. Now we should be all set to quilt.
I don't think it's threaded. I don't think it's threaded.
You're gonna make me thread way over there? Does it, the automatic thread doesn't work from way over there.
Lori was showing us earlier how she can thread this machine in no time at all.
No pressure.
Now that zips out all the way done. Snap. Easy. So we can use the controls here. Needle down, needle up. Move the machine away so we can pull up our bobbin. Just pulling up our bobbin thread so that we can get started. Go back to our starting point. Needle down. Just gonna borrow one of these chairs. Scooch in here. So we're just gonna use the foot control that comes with the machine. As I flash and throttle, the machine starts spinning. And we move the machine over to the river.
Would you have to use a free motion setup on the machine?
Yep. And another one of these. These don't come with the frame. They are convenient though when your fabric is narrower than the frame. That way you can get some tension on the sides. You don't need too much, just enough.
Now, what are they called?
These are bungee clamps.
Okay. Very good.
So they're included in package number 2. And 3, correct.
Yep, and 3. Just like that. Who wants to give it a try? All right. Well, come on down. You're the next contestant.
Cool. Oh, I can step on that.
You gotta step on that.
Great. There's the handles. Oh. All right, here we go.
Give it more gas on that.
Oh, it running out of thread.
Do you have that kind list, are you okay to thread that?
No, I don't. I mean, I'm sure I could try.
So the machine, the Cutie frame does come with a series of extension cables. They don't fit every machine, but they extend your foot control to make it 4 feet longer.
Okay.
So, again, it comes with like 5 of these.
So can you use this as a sit-down machine?
Certainly can.
We were actually sitting down when we were stitching this morning.
Imagine when you lower this,
No, I would really have to
get a chair that comes out.
A lower table.
Lower table.
Yeah,
a
lower
big
table.
coffee table.
This is more of a desk height.
So if you're someone who's already done free motion quilting on your machine, this would be part of the learning you've already done, coordinating your hands and your foot pedal speed already. So this is just another tool to make it, to me, make it easier for you. I'm really excited about this. I do some free motion quilting, but this really gets me excited.
Well, normally you've got your machine stationary and you move the quilt, and no matter what kind of rig you set up, you're still moving essentially the whole quilt. And so it's a lot of strength and fatigue on your shoulders and your back to move that around all the time. This way, the fabric is all held in place, it's all straight and steady. It's really good at doing like swirls and loops. Go ahead.
Okay, what you were
So
talking
you have to press your foot down.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Shouldn't it be down?
Yes.
Whoa.
More throttle, more throttle,
Down, miss.
more throttle. You gotta give it lots of gas.
Oh, there it went again. Oh.
Yeah, what a goofy thing.
So Liz, you've done free motion before, yes or no? Yeah. So another trick for free motion quilting that we do here at the store is we set the speed to our foot pedal at a lower speed, and then we floor it. So you're not adjusting your foot ever, you just floor it, but you've set your speed to medium. And then you only have to think about the speed of your hands as you're moving.
And do all machines have that or no?
I would say most computerized machines would have it. The other thing that people do is turn their foot pedal backwards.
Yes.
So slanted the other way, and then again, you have a bit more control when you're doing it.
So if you have like my Janome has a control for speed.
Right.
Then I wouldn't need that.
They do 2 different things.
Oh, okay.
That just makes it so you don't need to use your foot pedal. This is
Oh, no, I
actually
still have to use my foot pedal.
yeah.
It just has the speed
Mhm.
that I can floor it and it won't go faster
And
than.
then that just sets the speed.
Yeah,
And so again, that doesn't do the same thing as the stitch regulator.
okay.
The stitch regulator actually gets the machine to speed up and slow down to make all the stitches the same size.
Yes.
Good.
Right? So when
That would be for
right?
me.
When we free motions quilt, we're aiming to get our stitches all the same size, but the challenge is coordinating that foot and the hands with the drag of the quilt to get nice stitches. When you put the stitch regulator on, it controls the speed. So it adjusts as you drive. If you're moving faster, it stitches faster. If you're moving slower, it stitches slower. So it's doing that coordination for you so your stitches are the same.
So when you say stitch regulator, is that the speed control?
No, that's the
Sure stitch.
The sure stitch lead.
And we'll let you see how that works too.
What's the sure?
This is that's the stitch regulator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that thing?
That is that thing.
All right.
So now when you go, what Liz has said is that why are the stitches so long? What do you have it set at?
Yeah.
Well, she is moving the machine, so she is making the stitch length. So if she's got her foot down, whatever speed, she needs to go that speed. And that's what he's talking about, the stitch regulator.
All right, let's try
So
it.
just try to go really slowly, and then,
Fast on the foot, slow on the top. Faster on the foot.
bobbin thread. She's got some skips on here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're getting better, Liz.
Thank you.
Better and better.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Make a liar out of me.
Slow down. Slow down. Hold the foot the same and slow your speed down.
Okay.
Does anybody else want to try it before? Does anybody else want to try it before the stitch regulator goes on?
Yes.
Go for it.
And don't feel afraid to sit down and use the chair.
Do you want a chair?
Oh, look, she took her shoes off. She's a quilter.
That's what was wrong. I had my shoes on.
So now is this down?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did this once or twice.
She's much better than me.
Why is it stopping? Oh, because I'm at the end of the package. Did I get to the end of here? Do I get this?
Yeah.
Are
You
we,
can check.
This isn't too weird, is it?
No, it's fine. Most people end up having problems putting the fabric tension too tight.
Okay.
Because if you stretch that fabric, you add the stitches in, when you take the tension away, then it puckers and wrinkles.
Okay.
So we don't want that. Not at the last, like one of the last steps. After you've done all the work to piece it together, you need to add those wrinkles.
So whoever else tries it should try it over because you can't get quite right.
No, you don't have you can't get all the way down to this edge.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to do, they kept stopping.
Oh. Yeah.
So the thread, now this one keeps breaking,
It could be a variety of reasons. The nice thing is we haven't done anything weird to it, right? This is just a sewing machine. You're using it free motion, so you do the same troubleshooting you do if you had your fabric and you're quilting this way. It's the same troubleshooting steps. I usually recommend using a jean or a top stitch needle instead of a quilting needle because they're a lot stiffer of a needle so they don't bend as much as your free motion quilts. A jean, denim, like a denim or a top stitch.
I have so many of them, I haven't used them in years.
There you go. But you need the machine. For
Oh,
the
I
frame.
have- Yes, I have the top stitch, but I didn't realize that I could interchange it with the denim needle.
And what happens, like I said, when the needle comes down, it has to catch the bobbin thread from the little arm that, anyway, if you are moving it not at the speed that the machine finds it ideal, it can break the thread because it's catching it in the wrong place. So it's just practice, is what it is.
And that's what I did when I couldn't go, I went to go back and I went too fast.
Anybody else want to try?
I have a question. So putting the fabric in on the frame and putting your slips on, I use soft and stable for a lot of things. So that's thicker and then fabric. Is that an issue? Putting,
Again, you're going to be pairing your machine with fabric and batting and stabilizer and thread that you already use.
Right.
So is it already a problem with your machine?
no, but I'm saying on the frame,
I
putting
think
it
she's talking
on the
about
clips.
these on
I don't see any reason why that should cause a problem.
It's thicker. Yeah, it's thicker.
Yeah,
That's why I'm wondering.
It's
if it-
thicker. No, I still don't think it should cause a problem.
Yeah.
It just, you can quote with a high loft batting or with a stabilized. I don't see any reason why you'd have any issues with that. You're just quilting as you go.
I just wondered if it would fit under those clips
Uh,
because it's thicker. That's
Again,
all I'm asking.
I think it should fit.
Okay.
Cool. Any other questions, comments, concerns, random emotional outbursts?
One question I have for you.
Sure.
Your clips are made with this nice fancy plastic.
Yep.
Plastic breaks over time. If we bought the machine,
Yep.
can we buy extra clips down the road.
Yep. Yep. If for whatever reason one broke, was damaged in shipping, you lost one when moving, right? No reason why you can't buy extra clips later on.
Can you buy most replacement parts? And where would we have to get them?
You can of course come back to the shop you purchased them from and they can help you arrange that, or you can contact the Grace Company Canada or the Grace Company USA to get those parts.
Now, if you needed parts, would they ship from Canada or from the States?
We actually stock almost all the parts here in Canada, all the common ones. So if something that happens quite a bit, then we end up stocking that. If it's something we're like, we've never had to replace that, we just don't end up stocking it. But yeah, we have a warehouse here in Red Deer, Alberta. That's where the parts would get shipped out of. Can you
And
buy
would they
parts
bring
later?
it from the States and then we get it Red Deer?
Yeah.
And on here, it says your quilt clips are only 1.5 or 2 inches. Would that answer her question, or you use it?
The quilt clips are actually for a roller style frame
Okay.
instead of a hoop style frame.
Okay.
So if you already have a Grace quilting frame, almost all those Grace quilting frames made of the white metal and the roller frames, those all use like 1.5 inches. If you've got like an APQS, a Bernina, Gamel, they use the 2-inch clips.
I have like a Bernina machine.
Bernina longer quilting frame.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
And
you.
your Bernina machine, does it have like a BSR?
I'm not sure what that is.
The Bernina stitch regulator? It's the
No.
the stitch regulator foot.
No, I don't think it does.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I only had it 20 years.
I have the same machine
Probably
you
not.
do. I have the, it doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not, no, it's, yeah, it does not.
That's fair.
But that's okay. It works.
Well, I know a lot of the newer Berninas come with that BSR, and that makes them really good for the frame because you just hit the start button on the side, and the foot stitch regulates for you.
Yes, yours, maybe something I can actually do.
So this also has a stitch regulator.
You have the option of buying a Sure Stitch Elite stitch regulator.
Nice segue.
Good work.
Oh, yeah. So a stitch regulator comes in a box like this.
Is that the Grace speed control?
No, this is the Grace Sure Stitch Elite.
Oh,
And it really is a bunch of pieces. So I've got a control box. The control box plugs into the display, which I've got up front already. It also has 2 encoders, which are sensor wheels. So as those wheels turn, it tells the machine to stitch. So I'm going to set this one up.
I know, I should probably use it.
That's what that little box is for.
So as you can see, you can use it without that, because I heard some of you.
Yeah.
It's a lot, the stitch regulator. It's a wonderful,
It's worth
add-on.
every penny.
Yeah. It's a game changer.
If you have that penny.
Yeah, you have the penny.
If you don't have that penny.
So you can do the machine or the frame now and
Get
play
that.
with it, use it,
Yeah.
get used to it, and then you can add that if you decide then that you need that.
Quit going to Tim
It
Hortons.
replaces the
Where
foot
your
control.
office
So
doesn't have
the
it.
foot control plug, that is where your Sure Stitch plugs into, and that's how it tells your machine to stitch. So you don't get the foot control.
If you have that, you don't need that foot control.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I came off the light bar.
Oh, my. That's why I say it's worth
All
every
right.
penny.
So you can't make a mistake then,
Well, that's
except for your steering.
it's the idea. So what I like about the stitch regulator is normally when you're quilting, you have to think about a lot of things. You got to think, how fast am I pushing? How hard am I pushing down the foot pedal to make the machine stitch? How fast am I moving the fabric? And how do I make a really cute design that the people I'm giving the quilt to will love and enjoy, that I won't feel embarrassed about? And that's a lot of things to think about. But when you use a stitch regulator, the stitch regulator means that it takes care of how fast the machine is sewing. It's also really handling how fast you move the machine, because whether you move slow or quickly, the stitches are all the same size. So the only thing you have to worry about is making a cute design. And I really like that because it's already enough work to make a cute quilt, let alone do all of that other work. So I don't need to sit down because I need a pedal. So the little screen here has a start stop on it. So when I'm ready to go, I'll just push start. The machine starts sewing, and then when the machine slowly or quickly, it makes all the stitches the same size. I'm all done, and it stop.
Can I have a
This
job,
lady
Lord,
here.
please?
Use it, just to show the difference. Sure. No, go ahead.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
I'm
serious now.
And remember how you stood.
The cardigan
Last
comes
time.
off.
Yeah. Oh, yes, press start. But I have to have this higher for my eyes to see.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want the chair?
Oh, my Lord, isn't that better? Yeah, all top of my
Why does it beep?
So that beep sound is the overspeed alarm.
It's being
I haven't had a ticket in 20
So-
years.
Well, you just got a whole bunch.
Oh, I love, yeah.
So the machine, it has revved up to full speed, and when the machine, the motor literally can't go any faster, it gives you a beep sound, and then your stitches stop being regulated. You go faster than that, and the needle starts
So
bending.
as soon as it beeps, you have to just.
Yeah, it's a reminder that you don't go too fast, don't go too fast, don't go too fast.
So it's going too fast and how she's moving it?
Yes.
Okay.
I was moving my arms too fast, because I wasn't really doing anything else.
So earlier you said not all machines will fit.
Yes, and if you go to, I think that's the middle page of the handout, or the second page, where there is a compatibility
It's
chart.
attached.
So it's broken down by brand, you can figure out whether it's on the list. Now the manufacturer guarantees that the ones on the list will work, right? That they're on the list. If your machine isn't on the list, that doesn't mean it won't work. That means the manufacturer hasn't tried it to guarantee it.
For our Facebook watchers, if you want to type in the name of your machine, I can let you know if it is compatible with the SureStitch regulator.
So you have no Berninas on
Most of the, not really.
here? Oh, yes, there is. Yeah, but not on the sure stitches.
Yeah. Most of the Berninas, the newer Berninas can get the BSR, and then they use the BSR instead.
Oh, do you remember what brand, like when I done my gist or remember what number? No.
Like if you can get the BSR, then use it.
No, I don't, Liz.
Is it the little
If you
one?
can't, then
The Joe?
then it has a regulator.
There's a few of us that have. Oh. McDonald's?
Sure.
See, I have the same machine, so you don't have this.
So this area is
I think
for
it's something like
telescope.
82.
So the FAF Performance 5.2 is on the list, Barb.
I think you've lost the truth, you better tell them what we're doing.
Oh, sorry.
So you just asked how big this area is here. And I told her it telescopes, so I can retract it, or I can extend it out.
I don't see, Annette, I don't see the Tipmatic on the list, but
Right? So that's the smallest
I will
space
check
to
on
go.
that.
I can also telescope it out this far. Right? It can handle
Janome
up to-
M7 is on the list. Just have to scroll back.
So if you have 11 inch.
Husqvarna.
You should adjust this to match your machine.
I do not see the Husqvarna 500 on the list.
So what I did when I got
Berninas are not on the list because they have their own built-in stitch regulator, Sue, when they have their upper end. That's what he said. Skyline.
Do you have to adjust it
I
after
would-
quilting?
Diane, does your Skyline have a number?
I would just adjust it when I was setting it up and not worry about adjusting it
After?
that. And so I can see that this uses probably number 6. And there's numbers on both sides, so I can make sure I get it straight. Numbers are printed there. So yeah, you just make it match your machine. You don't have to adjust
Skyline
it all the time. Ideally, you won't lose that much quilting space as you get to the end of your quilt, because we don't roll around the picket rail. It gets stacked.
Diane, I don't see your machine on the list
You have a big quilt and you roll it up.
right now.
Mhm.
And that backs up,
You're welcome.
backs on.
And again, ideally, that roll, it sits on top. As you move forward, it'll mush it and roll it, push it forward a little bit and push it back. You should expect to lose some. I also recommend typically moving to the center, flip it around, and then from the center. So you only have ever half your quilt rolled up inside.
And you're sort of hoping that when we start from the other side, it'll sort of match up in the center?
Yeah, that's the idea. Although it's just a hoop, so you can just re-hoop it however you'd like. If you want, there's nothing stopping you from rolling it up and starting in the center and then quilting from the center out. Or
Horizon
even,
Memory Crafts,
you know, oh, I've got this
2700.
panel quilt, let me just do all the outside and come back and do the inside later. Or do all the inside
The
first and then.
Craft 77 QCP is on the
Anything
list,
larger,
Win.
of course, hangs over the side, and we just push it down. So you can do any size of quilt that fits in your machine. The machine is still the limiting factor, so I won't let you do a king size quilt on just a little tiny machine. Yeah.
So what's the difference between that stitch regulator you have on there now and the speed control?
So the speed control is just, it sets the machine to sew at a constant speed with a button at the fingertip. So this machine has a play pause button, and if I push play, ideally, and if I move slowly or quickly, the machine stitches at the same speed. That's the exact same thing that the speed control does. It's just sets your machine to sew at constant speed.
Oh, okay, so
So it's not regulated. The stitches will be long or short, depending on how fast you move the machine.
Okay.
that, what I was telling, I don't have a button that machine automatically goes. I have a button that, or a slider that sets the speed.
Yep.
Is that basically the same thing?
Not quite. So a lot of machines have a turtle rabbit slide,
Yeah,
and that sets how fast the machine will run.
right.
And the option of a start stop or a play pause button is what speed control does.
Oh, okay.
It gets the machine to run.
Any
at that
questions
constant
from
speed.
our Facebook
Okay,
watchers?
Okay, that one I get.
Who else wants to try?
Yeah.
Re-
No, I don't.
But you're afraid you might be put to work?
Not anymore
So
than
I-
now.
I think I'm gonna wrap up our Facebook Live, because I think maybe it's intimidating for our people in the store to have everybody watching them stitch. So for our Facebook people, thank you so much for joining us for our Facebook Live, showing you the Cutie frame from Grace. Thank you to Jared for everything that you shared with us. And I'm gonna try and extreme close up. The price list, this thing is on the website on the top ribbon. If you're interested, if you have any other questions, post them below this post and we will repost this video for everybody to watch later. Thanks everybody, have a great weekend.